Welcome back, trainers, and today we have a very interesting topic to go over. And before I do get into it, I just want to put a disclaimer out here that I am not endorsing what I'm about to talk about. I'm not trying to glamorize it and everything else in between, right? So basically, don't do what I'm going to say. What I'm going to talk about is what is occurring and what people are doing and thinking and acting upon because of the current changes that have been taking place in Pokemon Go throughout the years. And that's it. So disclaimer, do not do this. Okay? So, hear me, Niantic. You're sitting there with your lawyers. I ain't endorsing anything. So before we go into that, there you go. But with that said, let's talk about it. And it is going to be spoofing, as you may know by the title of the video. Let's talk about it because it seems like there is more of an increase of people spoofing in Pokemon Go because, well, you know, remote raids. And not only that, people are just getting sick and tired of Niantic, so disrespect the people, or at least no response. So people are kind of taking that as a smack to the face, so now they're going to basically just start to spoof some of them, right? So let's get into this. Fresh coffee here. All right, so I'm going to talk about it from my personal perspective, and then we're going to be getting into nowadays. So we're going to go from when I first started playing, the different periods and how I felt about the spoofers, and everything else in between. Okay, so and also my personal thoughts, like when I first knew about spoofing, when I first started playing this game. Okay, so first started playing it. Great, loved it. Spent about $10 and I was so excited, right? I didn't have money to just throw into a mobile game. It wasn't like that. I mean, I could have, but we had priorities and a budget to maintain for our household and our family. So I couldn't just spend all this money on Pokemon Go, right? It was a lot different when I first started compared to now, where I spend lots of money, you know. Cut down quite a bit, though, because I can't remote raid as much. So anyways, when I first started playing, spent a couple bucks, and then I started, you know, seeing people talking about spoofing. And look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. You're going to get the complete truth out of me. No, I did not spoof. Yes, I did try to attempt it when I first got the game, probably within the first 2 weeks. I attempted it. I didn't actually do it. And I started looking into how I had to do all these modifications. And then I just said, I'm good. I'm going to play the game legit. The only reason why I wanted to is because I loved it. I wanted to explore, not the world. I just wanted to walk around my area. But, you know, the comfort of my home and not spending money on gas, and walking was great, but I was limited on time. So this would have alleviated a lot of that. Again, I'm not encouraging it, but this is just what I personally went through. Never did it. And then I started becoming spiteful towards them, not because I decided to not to do it and I kind of wanted to. The thought of wanting to do it vanished after that. I didn't care. Then they started attacking the gyms, and it was a big mess. And then the bots came along, and I'm going to speed this up so this video is not like an hour long, and I go through all of the time periods very slowly. So I was not liking them. I hated, I like to use the word hate. I didn't like them, and they were annoying. And it was a big issue because the only thing that we really had back then was the gyms, defending the gyms. And if somebody was attacking them, it had to be within the vicinity. You can defend it. You could not, you know, go up to them, but you could see the person there. Okay, they're there. Okay. And then eventually if they get tired and you keep defending it, they just drive away, right? I remember defending a gym. It was my home gym, Snippy, back in the day, right? It was just me. It was back when you had to attack it to prestige it, right? And I kept prestiging it with a low combat power Pokemon. And I had like 4, 5, 6, 7 Mystic people pull up in their cars, and they were like looking over, giving me a dirty look, like, we're gonna take this on. They're looking to each other, smiling, like, we're gonna get them. I kept prestiging it. They couldn't do it. Eventually they did, though, because I just got overpowered. There was just too many. But anyways, we're getting all off topic rambly here. We'll get it onto the main juice, don't worry. All right, so didn't like them because they were attacking gyms. Spoofers were really nothing to help back then. They didn't do anything to help you. The only thing they did do was attack your gyms and be a nuisance, right? Fast forward when they did repair the gyms because of the botting issue and spoofing potentially too. I think it was more so of the bots. That was a massive issue. The whole spoofing thing kind of it was a little alleviated, but there was a big stigma still attached to it. Fast forward a little bit more, raids come out. still had the stigma, still didn't care too much for them because in-person raiding was all we had and everybody was there. Lobbies were always full. New legendary came out. A week later, you still have groups going hard. Raid training going hard. This was what it was before remote raids. Give an inch, take a mile, and there we are, right? Fast forward a little bit more, things start dying down a little bit, and you kind of maybe needed more people. Now, we're fast forwarding quite a bit, right? We're going from 1 year to 2 year to 4 year, right? We're just going to skip a bunch because we don't really need to go through all that. Raids were here for a while. Here comes the remote raids, and everybody's staying at home for that period of time. And now that's where I do believe spoofing increased massively. Because, well, everybody was hanging out at home, so might as well go and see if I can spoof, so some people were saying, right? And by this time, they were not an issue to me. They were more so of a help because, well, you needed more people as things were kind of slowing down. You still had a lot of people in raids, but they were not too much of an issue. You would cough and scoff at them, oh, this spoofer, everybody's here, where is that person? Probably spoofing, right, okay. All right, my phone stopped recording. I ran out of space. I had to delete some stuff. A little bit of an issue with this smaller storage phone. But anyways, fast forward to now, and they are more so of a help. They're more so of like, oh, please let there be spoofers, depending on your area. If you live in a big city, if you live in a big city, like, I don't know, let's just say New York, right? It's the easiest one. Your lobbies are probably always going to be full. Okay, that is a different situation, and you probably don't care for spoofers, in which that's perfectly fine. That's fine. But for the rest of us who don't have, I don't know, 20 people in a lobby that fills up within seconds, and then it'll just fill up again. It's like you got a faucet continuously going. You never turn it off. You can just fill up one glass and just fill up another glass. And we're over here and we're getting drips, like a drip, and we're waiting for it to be filled up. That's us compared to your city adventure experience. So what are spoofers to you now? Are they villains or are they heroes? I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they're breaking TOS. Yeah, that is straight up. And if you get banned for spoofing, that's on you. You don't go on Twitter and start saying, post a screenshot of you getting a warning or getting banned or permaban or whatever, and then say, oh, look, they just banned me for no reason. And then people go through your timeline and just find, the spoofing thing, and you're like, come on, you're spoofing. And they're like, yeah, just once a couple months ago. Like, well, there you go. If you do it wrong, you're going to get caught. There's certain ways to kind of maneuver around it. I don't know the 100% of how it works, but that's just how it goes. So you got to just be very particular on how you do it, I guess. So what do you think about them? I mean, it's to the point where if you do spoof, you're going to be able to play freely. And if you don't get caught, you're going to be able to go around and do everything. You can visit all kinds of places around the world that would have cost you thousands of dollars to go to otherwise and experience, not in person. I mean, you're not experiencing it, right? You're there with your avatar spinning stops and catching the Pokemon in that spot, maybe some regionals or whatever, but you're not experiencing it. That is for sure. But when it comes down to these spoofers nowadays, for people who need help in raids, they are heroes. That's just the way it goes. Now, do not be malicious and attack gyms if you're a spoofer. Let's just stay away from them, right? Let the people locally do that. If you attack gyms and you're a spoofer, that's not right. I'll just say that, right? That's not right. But Niantic is forcing a lot of people to do this. I wouldn't say forcing, but having them make the decision to go ahead and take the steps to do it, because, well, you can use those regular passes in person, and if you're spoofing, you've got those passes stacked up, plus they're on sale and still cheaper than the remote raids, and you can do unlimited of those. So there you go. You can go around and just do that. Again, I'm not condoning that. I'm just reporting upon what the people are doing. See, I could see, I hope Niantic is smarter than this, but, cherry picking words and saying, oh, well, he said this, hit him with a DMC, hit him with a strike or something. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just talking about what's already out there, what people are already doing, and how they're, what the thought process is and why they're doing this, okay? So, we're here in 2023, and spoofing is now, it's frowned upon by a lot of people, most people I would say, but a lot of us are like, hey, hey, hit the spoofer button, call them, all right, what do they call it, drop ship, or whatever the hell you call it, airdrop. Come on in, help us out here. And now when we have these Mewtwo raids, now what? You're going to really want them there because, for one, you're not going to be able to solo it. You're probably not even going to be able to duo it. And a trio is going to be by the skin on your teeth, messing up all the phrases. So, good luck. But think about it. If you had a bunch of people just spoofing your lobby for a Mewtwo raid, when there was like 4 of you, and say you've already tried like 3 times, 2 times and failed, got pretty close, but you didn't quite beat it, and all of a sudden a couple of people show up out of nowhere, and they're definitely not around you. And you can't say, oh, you can't see them, they're not there, because there could be a building, behind it would be behind a fence, in a car laying down, who knows where they're at. It really depends on your area and how big your radius is here. For our radius, you could be hiding anywhere. Unless it's like an open field, our radius is massive. If you don't know, in Alaska, it is massive. So you can be hiding somewhere and not know, and you think they're spoofing, but in reality, they're there. So be careful and don't just report people on that. But again, I don't even know about reporting. It's probably more of their software that detects the software that is not supposed to be used, or third-party apps that are not supposed to be used, and that gets detected and then you get caught. But when it comes down to them nowadays, it's funny because it was from stigma to still stigma, but it's more of like, hey, I don't mind if they're here. Hey, come on, stop on by, spoofer. Come hop in this gym with me, or take out this raid boss with me, because, well, people need help now with the limitation on the remote raids, and or simply cutting them out completely when it comes to the shadow raids. People need help more than ever in specific areas, and well, they're filling that gap there. So when it comes down to spoofing, I do not condone it, but it's become from something terribly annoying and bad that you shouldn't be doing and frowned upon, to the point where we're here now, where it's like, well, go ahead, who cares? Come on, help me. So, spoofers, better be careful, but just know, I do believe there's a lot of people out there that do appreciate you. They're just not going to say it publicly. How would I phrase this here? They secretly like you. I was going to use a phrase, but I don't want to get all weird politically here. So we'll just go, they like you secretly, but they won't ever say it publicly. But when you show up for help, then they enjoy it. Maybe. I don't know. I have a feeling that's the way it is for a lot of people. They just don't want to come all right out and say, yeah, I don't mind spoofers. Yeah, I would enjoy them to help me. They don't want to say it. And that's perfectly fine. And again, I'm not trying to, if you do that, you do you. And I enjoy the people who are straight up open. It's not like you leave a comment and we're going to find your name, and we're going to find your Pokemon name in game. Like, okay, this guy's spoofing, let's connect the dots here and get him in trouble. We don't know. It's probably a completely random screen name you got to your comments, to your game name. So I appreciate you letting me know and telling me your stories and stuff and why you did it and whatever. But again, I'm not condoning this. I just wanted to bring it up because it's on the rise. That is for sure. It's on the rise. And don't get caught. Whatever you do, be careful. And, well, help out those people that are in person. Get them. Maybe. If you do that. No, not condoning it. Maybe you shouldn't help them. Don't help them. Never mind. I take that back. Never mind. Stop spoofing. Don't do it. It's bad for your health. Niantic says no. Spank you. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Just a ramble. Random ramble. Talking about spoofing here. And how it's become from stigma to, still stigma, but more so acceptable now. Much like a lot of other things in this world. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.